Welcome to Egg Foo What, the first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk. I'm here with my co-host, Greg Wilson.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of Egg Foo. Well, you sounded like you were throwing it over to me on early days of Monday Night Football there.
That's where I'm
Greg
going.
Wilson.
Yeah, trying to be a little more profestional.
Does growling make it more professional? I mean, I like it.
Trying. Our analytics have been good lately, so I wanted to
good.
Try.
The analytics team has been sending the reports that we
Yes, I've been getting reports from the analytics team.
Nice.
Marketing team is saying
the marketing team. Are they presenting a nice PowerPoint of all the numbers we're putting up?
Stuff is happening. We got a new logo. Got a new logo
from the government.
Yeah,
asking us for money because we must be so successful because of the numbers the data team is giving us.
Yes. Got a new logo from Jeff Owens. He's done a lot of artwork for the Best Show, and he graciously did a logo for us. The theme song, I just looked at the final results.
Yeah,
and it's a dead heat.
It's a tie between. Let me double check this number. Hold on. We got for over 48 hours with your 11,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I use that term strictly.
Loosely. Yeah. No, they're bots. Most of them are bots.
What do you mean most of them are bots?
Yeah.
Let's say 9,000.
Okay.
And for this poll, we got a whopping how many votes? Let me put it this way. If votes were years, our poll could finally drink a beer. 21. 20. 21, as they say in Paris. 21 votes delivered by your people.
Yeah.
One of them was probably mine. I don't remember if I voted, but I probably did.
I don't know if you can vote in your own poll. I've done enough of these silly polls that I'm pretty sure you can't.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So you want to be the tiebreaker? You can be the tiebreaker.
Okay. Well, that makes it even more meaningful then. Out of 11,000 people, 21 voted. A minute ago, I was worried it was only 20, but if mine didn't count, then 21's the real number. Wow.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great, no.
And what other two do we?
Well, some people wanted to vote for the listeners' theme.
Yeah, I saw your version of some people. Your version of some people means someone.
I think there was three altogether.
Oh, three.
Because the initial objection got a couple likes, so I counted those as they would have liked that theme too.
Okay, so that's three for that. A whopping 21 for anything else. Two of which are tied. Shall we see what those two are?
Yeah, sure. It was song 2, theme 2.
That's a good one.
And theme 5, which I kind of zeroed in as 5. I was a 5, I think, in the early weeks. Last week when you presented it.
Theme song?
Yeah.
All right, let's play. Oh, wait a minute. There is no song 5.
Well, you threw out the one that was you could have gotten sued for.
I pulled the Reckless Eric one.
Yeah.
And I didn't change it to. I listed as 1, 2, 4, 5. I assume they mean 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's play 2 and 4 then, to see who we think the winner should be.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is song number 2, titled "Egg Foo What?" Theme song 2.
Let's get together for the what?
Nah, fuck that. I'm taking that song. That's going to be a great song. I'm taking that back for myself. That's a great one. That's going to be my Hey Jude. So I'm taking that one back. So let's see what the winner is.
It's Egg for What with Greg and Mike and you. Egg for what? We'll eat for 2. Egg for what? With Mike and Greg and you. Egg for what? We'll eat Everything but chow mein. Fuck chow mein. We hate chow mein. Chow mein was gross. Chow mein should die.
All right. I can live with that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's good. I thought it was the funniest.
It's
I'm listening to it now. I was wondering, since you're a sound tech wizard,
thank you. That's
um,
nice of you to say.
if I sent you a vocal, could we possibly have a duet?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that if you sent me a vocal, I could find a way to make that work. Well,
Okay.
the idea is to have somebody actually record this.
Yeah.
So now that we have the winner, we got to put it out there. Is somebody willing to record this?
Okay.
I don't know if you want to do that before or after you include your bit, but I'm happy with this winner, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I like it.
It's funny. We get across our hatred for chow mein and what it did to us.
Uh-huh.
And your name comes first, so your people will be, maybe they'll stand down.
Uh-huh.
If I had said my name
Uh-huh.
first, it would have been a problem.
Uh-huh.
Well,
it is alphabetically, Liz comes before Wilson.
but we say Mike and Greg. Yeah.
No.
Nice one.
In what institution do they go by your first name before your last name? What
Every institution. What do you mean institution? What are you in prison?
I'm talking about down at the
Is this going to be
down at the DMV,
I was going to say
courthouse.
the DMC. Is this going to be back when you were knee deep in the shit back in Nam and nobody remembered your first name? Is always List.
Yeah.
List.
Well,
our duty. List. What are these pancakes?
I'll simplify it. Homeroom in high school. Were you in with the G's or were you in with the W's?
The W's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Hey, you got me. You got me.
Yeah.
You got me. All right.
I want to congratulate you on your team, the Yankees, advancing to the next round.
Oh, that's nice. I know that wasn't easy to say. I could see you tweeted so much about it. I'm like, are you watching this game?
Of course I'm watching it. I mean, I watch other teams. I'm actually at this point, because I despise the other teams involved pretty much. So I'm rooting for the Yankees to play the Phillies, which will be right in my neighborhood. New Jersey's right in between. And so it's sort of a local game. And they played each other before, right? I mean, didn't the Yankees beat the
last
Phillies
time?
before?
Yeah, the last time the Yankees won.
That was the last time they won. Wow. Okay. So that'd be a nice little echo of their last championship. So that's that's who I'm rooting for. The San Diego, I mean, they were impressive against the Mets. Just some of those players I just do not like.
Well, they beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, they did. I'm saying they're doing impressively in the playoffs. I don't know how many games they won. I mean I know LA is, had 111 wins or something in that division.
I think they won 88 or 89.
But they only had 88 wins. Wow. Okay.
Well, the same as I think Atlanta last year came crawling into the playoffs, only winning 88 or something.
They made that great late trade though with the Nationals, right? They got Soto.
I don't know. We're not talking about the Yankees anymore, and that kind of.
Well, no,
when I think of the Padres, I think of two things: Tony Gwynn, R.I.P., and McDonald's. And don't make a joke about how most things make me think of McDonald's. Ray Kroc owned the Padres back in the day. And I think back in '84, when they made that run of the World Series, he died. So they all had patches, they'll tell you. I think that's why I remember him owning the Padres. I mean, what's more American than Tony Gwynn and McDonald's? So if you're rooting against the Padres at this moment, you're rooting against America. So in the NL, rooting against the Yankees would also be rooting against America.
Yeah, I noticed that in your sort of jump on the bandwagon fandom
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think you became a Cowboys fan much earlier. Is that true?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you credit for being a lifetime Cowboys fan.
Thank you.
You're
Let me mark that off my to-do list. Get credit for being
yeah,
a Cowboys fan.
you're
70s,
clearly a Yankees
80s.
bandwagon fan.
Uh-huh.
You jumped on just at the right moment,
Uh-huh.
so I think
What have I told you 1,000 times? I happened to walk in. I moved to Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yes, I walked right into the middle of the dynasty, January of '98. I couldn't help it. If I'd moved to Minneapolis, I'd be a Twins fan. I didn't know you could watch a team every night.
Yeah.
And I fell in love.
Yeah.
That was 1998. Can we still say bandwagon?
Yeah.
It's been 13 years since they won the World Series. I mean, I don't even call myself a Cowboys fan anymore. I don't really care. I don't care watching football. They haven't won. They've one playoff game in 30 years. So these bandwagons, they left me a long time ago.
I actually made a point of going out Sunday night. I was thinking, it would be a nice, a rare confluence of Yankee fans, Cowboys fans. I know from working in bars in Bayonne, certain sporting events would draw a crowd. Unfortunately, my local establishment down here didn't draw much of a crowd. I mean, there were a handful of Cowboys fans, very subdued. They got their asses handed to them, so they didn't have much to cheer about. So there was a little grumbling from them. The Yankees won. Surprisingly, not that many Yankees fans out, but I guess Sunday night, real people have to work real jobs, and I'm in some sort of limbo state where I can go out on a Sunday night.
Hey, they took care of business. Now they got to play the cheaters, the Astros, who I hated before they were accused of cheating.
Yeah, there's something about that team I dislike as well.
I hated them before any of that nonsense started.
So that starts tonight. I'm rooting for the Yankees, and
thanks, buddy.
I hope you.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I am happy about. Is In Cold Blood.
Okay, happy. Is that the word?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry it happened to these nice people. What do you want me to say? Spoiler alert. I was going to pace it, so I would finish it like close for Halloween, but I kind of can't put it down, and I've been burning through it. I'm about, I don't know, 100 pages left or 80 pages left or whatever. I got to say, I'm glad you suggested picking it back up again. Delightful read.
Again, delightful. Is that the word?
Well,
I think when I presented it to you, I thought it was one of the most terrifying books I ever read.
Terrifying, which is to read.
Yeah. I'm talking about, I don't know if you've gotten there, but this description of the murders themselves were, to me, one of the horror. I mean, it's great writing because you're completely terrified, as the victims must have been. So it's very effective. That's why I suggested it, because I've never found writing as terrifying as that. And I went on a true crime kick probably around the time I read that. This would be like sort of the early 90s, late 80s. I don't know what got in my head. I this was after my brother died, and I was reading, anything with the word death in the title. So I was it took me all over the place. I was reading The Denial of Death, which is a great book. Life Against Death is a great book. Death in a Family. Have you ever read that book? James Agee? Oh man. That should be your next book.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's a great book. But then I went on a true crime kick, and you said you're not a true crime person, but there's Anne Rule. I don't know if you know that name. She was sort of the queen of this stuff. Her big book, she actually knew, what's his name? I'm blanking out here. the guy who killed all the women in Florida, well, all over the country.
Florida. Dahmer.
No, no,
He's
no.
everywhere.
Why am I blanking out? They electrocuted him in Florida. Oh, this is terrible. Well,
I don't know,
actually,
but I know they used to call the electric chair there Old Smoky.
uh-huh.
So
Well, she wrote the book about him. Let me just, this is bothering me now.
this is piss poor, Mike. I mean,
Yeah, I know. It's poor form.
I mean,
But I've reached that age now where, I forget stuff. I forget names in particular.
Well, let's hope everybody forgets the last couple of minutes of this.
Maybe I'll go back and edit it.
Yeah, that I'd pay to see.
Yeah. Ted Bundy. Well, yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
Ted Bundy. Was he
Yeah,
a good one?
Anne Rule actually worked with him, so she knew this guy before. I don't. Well, maybe was it during something? It may have. I mean, those murders stretched out over several years. So I forget where she came across him, but she actually knew him, which was kind of eerie, considering all she wrote about was serial killers and murders and stuff. I read Fatal Vision, Joe McGinnis. That's about Jeffrey McDonald, the military doctor. You know that story, right? Killed his family. That's a good. I mean, if you're looking for the true crime books, that was a good one.
Well, I'm not, but
No, but just throwing it out there for the audience.
Right. Very good. Very nice.
Yeah.
This is probably the only. Well, that's not true. I think of this as more true crime that I would equate like TV with. This is like I do like the way he propels the narrative like along. Kind of the best nonfiction book I've read in 20 years or so was Manhunt, the John Wilkes Booth one.
I have that book. I haven't started reading it, but I think I picked that up after you wrote about it.
Fantastic. He does. It's amazing. They have you walking along, running along with Booth. The way the narrative just propels forward, which I have a sense this book is doing. It wants to nudge you along here, then nudge you along here, nudge you along there. Yeah, fantastic. But I did have some questions. I thought I spent the first like 100 pages. I thought the two guys were gay. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, I guess they're not.
That may be where Truman Capote, his perspective may sort of distort things somewhat. I mean, there was criticism about how close he got to one of the killers. Perry, is that his name?
Perry and Dick, yeah.
Yeah. So there was some criticism there. It's I guess a person can't completely be objective when they're writing things, particularly when he's gotten to know them.
I don't know if it was me, just because like one of them kept, or both of them kept calling each other honey, which I don't want to be Mr. Tough dude, but I've never called a guy honey. So I just assumed, and they had been in prison, so so I assumed they were a couple.
No, I don't remember
like
that
pages.
Getting that impression when I read it, but then I read about it afterwards.
Also, what's that?
No, I'm just saying I didn't get that impression when I read it.
Really?
But like I said, I read about it afterwards that he was criticized for getting very close to one particular killer.
And another thing is, remember the scene where they pick up the 12-year-old boy and his grandfather? What happened to that kid? That seemed like he must have been made up, because it seemed like the most precocious, world-weary 12-year-old boy. Like he seems to be in on what they're doing, and when they stop, he's like, "Let me talk, fellas." And when they're like, "All right, you guys got to go now," this 12-year-old boy senses that he better leave because some weird shit's gonna happen. Who is this kid? there's, he'd only be 74
Uh-huh.
today. Who is he? And can you, Mike List, get him on Egg Foo What by next Wednesday?
Well, a name, I guess, is not given. I don't remember this
Here
particular
come
detail.
the excuses. Here we go. Here we go.
No name is used in the book. The author is dead. I think there's a lot of dead ends here. I
Do you
think
think he made that up?
it's possible. I think it may have also been criticized for being somewhat, walking a fine line between truth and fiction.
Yeah,
I think that's another one of the criticisms that you
that's
don't.
why I can never get into, like, you like historical fiction. I don't like a mix of the two.
Mhm.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's confusing when yeah, it's like, okay.
And what do you think, or when didn't you think there was going to be more when they started talking about the boyfriend, Bobby? Seemed to be spending a little bit of time with Nancy's best friend. What's her name? Susan?
Yeah.
Starts with an S. I have the book next to me. I could open it up, but who's got time for that? She seemed to be there for him to, put his shoulder on in his time of need. If you're getting what I'm saying,
Yeah.
a 16-year-old boy. But then after like a month, it just is like, yeah, all of a sudden, and they just stopped hanging out with each other.
Mhm.
What do you think happened?
Yeah, these details are too far away from me. I mean, I read this book probably 30 years ago.
Well, you're in luck because those are the details.
No, I'm
boyfriend of the girl
I'm
murdered,
interested
and then
on your
finds
take.
solace in
Yeah.
her friend. And then after like a month, suddenly they were like, oh, they don't hang out anymore. And then Capote is like, oh, it's because, I don't know, they saw it would only hurt them more to remind each other of her or whatever. But what do you think they were doing in that month before suddenly they thought, gee, this isn't great?
Yeah, well, I think those were pretty conservative times, so I'm gonna say that there probably wasn't much happening.
That's disappointing. I would have tracked this Bobby guy down too and be like, come on, what happened in that month?
I mean, I
blaming
believe
him. Nobody's blaming him. Hey,
Yeah.
this happened. Terrible tragedy. You need a little solace.
the only recent update I did Google when we started talking about this, the house is still intact, which is surprising.
I was just talking last night. My buddy, I'm Ryan. He talked about the first time he read it. He had happened to be driving through Kansas, so he's like, "Oh, I'll listen to In Cold Blood, or whatever." I don't know who read it, and he was listening to it driving up that long driveway to the Clutter house.
Yeah, it's not on a main road. You sort of have to go off the road there, and so like you're only going down this road to see the house. It's not a thoroughfare.
And he said it just happened to time it with, like, when they were talking, when he was going into the description of the murder. It was at midnight. He's driving up that road, these creepy trees everywhere. And but I guess somebody must live at that house. Just like every fucking 2 years, you read about the horror house is up for sale again.
Yeah.
How many times is somebody going to buy this? So somebody must have bought it, don't you think? It sounds like an amazing house based on the description.
Well, the two surviving daughters, I mean, there were two older daughters who weren't at the house at the time.
Right.
I think they're still alive, I believe.
Oh, really?
So you can Google it and find out. I mean, I think friends of theirs bought the house and had it for many years. They were friends of the family. So it wasn't some weirdo, but they actually sort of, at one point, they sort of fell on hard times and actually were giving tours because, and as annoying as it is, people were always coming to the house, right?
Might as well get a couple of shekels.
So, yeah, so that's what they did. but then I guess it was getting too popular, and then the town kind of clamped down on it, saying you're not this isn't a business zone. You can't do business here, so they clamped down on it. But they got older, and then there are new owners there, and yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah,
That's the dream. That should be our dream. For this podcast to become too big, so much that it annoys our real fans, our true fans. Like in the beginning, when a band makes that leap to that third album, and all their fans who had been there in the beginning are furious. That's the goal for this.
Yeah,
become so big, we just enrage everybody, quote unquote, left behind. Even though podcast has no physical space at all.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
So, but I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I'm glad you brought it back to my attention.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way about Frankenstein. I'm sort of in the home stretch with that. And I saw you reposted something from your blog last year when you read it. You were feeling, and I understand it, and unless you've read the book, it doesn't make any sense. You said you felt like you were relating to the monster.
Yes.
Yes.
If you read the book, it's a painfully beautiful, which I think is how people would describe me. Painfully beautiful. This creature just wants some sort of connection.
Yeah.
But he can't have it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think a lot of people can relate.
I was going to say, I don't think I have a monopoly on that feeling.
No.
But that's probably the most I've ever felt a personal connection
to a monster
character. I was going to say character. You said monster.
So. But I'll describe, since it's fresh in my mind. You're mainly talking about, there's a long section where you're actually getting the story from the monster's perspective. He narrates what happened after he was created. He runs off. His creator, Victor Frankenstein, he runs off, and the monster eventually tracks down Victor, and he tells him about what happened in the meantime. And it's, as you say, very touching, because at a certain point he's living outside this cottage. He's living like in a hovel, but he's observing this family. It's an old man and his two children, and then a sort of other person, the Arabian, which is a little weird. They call her the Arabian, shows up, and she joins them. But he's learning how to speak again. It explains, that he didn't know what his origins were. He knows he looks hideous. He can see his reflection in water. And he had a bad reaction. Somebody reacted to him. So it is touching as he's trying to become more human, learn how to speak. He's sort of lingering outside this cottage, and he's learning how to speak again. He becomes very articulate, which if you watch the movie, it's like, what? It's like, wait a second.
The movie had nothing.
I know, yeah. There's no Igor I think anybody who's seen the movie and they want to read the book, where's Igor? Where's Igor? There's no Igor in the book. So
thankfully, you can love young Frankenstein and the book Frankenstein, but if you try to watch quote unquote real Frankenstein after reading the book, you're going to be a little disappointed.
I'm curious that they even could say that it was based on the book, because it's totally different.
You get a big dumb monster in a nice sport coat, and then boom, that's a movie right there. Back then, what are you talking?
But anyway, So the monster in the book is very articulate. You sort of sympathize with his plight. I'm with my current circumstances, life just keeps coming at me. I can't catch a break. So I'm in like one of the most stressful situations I've ever been in. you know, as a caregiver to my father now,
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever really had day-to-day stress like this in my life. It's just really
Mhm.
nonstop. So I'm reading this story and I'm thinking, you know, this isn't so bad. You know, I mean, this is even before you know, he makes the effort. I wish I had a hovel I can go to and just live outside of it.
Now you're wishing you were Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because
Reading In Cold Blood, I cannot say there's any characters I wish I was in that one.
so, you know, he's got a sort of a routine for a while. It doesn't seem very stressful. You know, he sort of gathers up firewood for the family, you know, during the night when he's roaming the woods to gather his berries and nuts that he lives off of.
So
And
I'm sorry, let me get this. If you in To Kill a Mockingbird, if you had to choose between being Atticus Finch and Boo Radley, you'd pick Boo Radley.
I've
He's
never
stuck away in a
read.
house somewhere. He's in the basement. He probably
Yeah,
gets like, some saltines delivered to him 3 times a day.
I
Doesn't
never
bother
read that book.
nobody.
Believe it or not, I've never read that book.
What?
I mean, I've seen the movie. I
You
felt
haven't read
like
To Kill a Mockingbird?
no, it wasn't taught
Oh
in
my!
it wasn't taught in my school. So I didn't read it where most
Nothing
people.
was taught in my school.
What?
Nothing was taught in my
Oh,
school, and I
okay.
still read
Right.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
You didn't have to read
Oh,
books in school?
yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, I also read them since.
No, but
Um,
I saw the movie and I felt like that's a story that, you know, I get it. You know, I think the movie was pretty good. I don't, you're saying the book is worth reading beyond the movie? I have it. I have a copy of it.
the movie, I will say, I've always thought To Kill a Mockingbird is the best matchup of an A+ book with an A+ movie.
Oh, okay.
But I have to be honest here, young Michael.
Hmm.
You're someone I look up to when it comes to books.
Hmm.
Even though you read a lot of dumb shit, but I am shocked you have never read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, I mean, I
When I
felt
say
like.
I'm shocked at that,
Uh-huh.
you should take it as a compliment.
Hmm.
I know plenty of people, close friends of mine, if they said, "Yeah, I never read To Kill a Mockingbird," I'd probably say, "Yeah, no shit."
Uh-huh.
With you, I'm a little surprised. That's all.
Uh-huh. No, my reasoning was that I thought the movie was good, but I felt like, yeah, I don't need to really go through that story again.
Because back when you were a kid, they didn't make you read it in school.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing.
Well, one of the books was on our book list in school was Terry Bradshaw, Man of Steel.
Are you kidding me?
So this was the Palace of Academe I was at. Yet somehow I managed to read
Wait a second.
Kill a Mockingbird.
You had to read a
And
Terry.
Hanson.
You had to read a Terry Bradshaw. This was an English class.
Didn't have to, but we had a book list.
And that was
I
on
don't
there.
know, 20 or 30 books. You had to pick, like, once every 6 weeks, you'd pick one, and then there was a test or something. And one of them was Terry Bradshaw, Man of Steel. There's one about Tony Dorsett. This was back in the 80s, I guess. It was all Steelers and Cowboys. Yeah, so that's the quality academia I was presented with, and I still managed to read To Kill a Mockingbird. I cannot express to you enough that you should read it, and I think you'd love it, to be honest.
I have a copy.
I have a feeling this has been one of those things that have throughout life you've kept hidden. You've been a little
no, not at
a
all.
little embarrassed. You know that at the wrong dinner party, if that comes out, be a little weird.
No, I know it's taught to a lot of people, that a lot of people have read it. A lot of people love it.
You seem hung up on the fact that you weren't made to read it.
But here's the weird thing, though. You're on record on this particular broadcast.
Oh, okay, officer.
That you hate Southern fiction.
I
So
did.
how did this one
Yes.
this one fly under the Greg Wilson I hate Southern fiction?
Good question,
radar?
Nicholas. That should tell you how good of a book it is.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't say that. I'm not an arbiter of what's good or not good, but what I like. It's a Southern, but I wouldn't say it's not like, I mean, it has some Southern, there's obviously it's Southern, but it's not like Eudora Welty, where every other page it's like, oh, here's another wacky uncle. He's drinking the brown liquor at the wedding and dumping tuna fish on, with another wacky uncle. None of
How
that.
about Faulkner though? You don't like Faulkner?
Nobody likes Faulkner. Nobody reads Faulkner. Anybody who tells you they've read Faulkner other than As I Lay Dying.
Well, that's a great one. That's a great one.
As I Lay Dying,
Yeah.
That's okay. Anyone who tells you they're reading any other Faulkner's lying.
Well, no, I've read the big four of Faulkner are As I Lay Dying, The Sound and the Fury, Absalom, and Light in August, which I've read those four, and I've actually read.
What did I just say? I said Light in August. No, As I Lay Dying.
Yeah, you said As I Lay Dying, which I think that's my favorite. As I Lay Dying, I think is a great one.
That's the most accessible, right?
Yeah.
It's the one.
Yeah.
We did actually have to read that in 11th grade, which looking back makes no sense. I mean, if I was one of the smart
that's
kids,
a tough read. Yeah.
If I'm one of the smart kids, I got news for you how well this class did with As I Lay Dying. So that seems to be the most accessible. But
I had to read 3 books that I couldn't appreciate in high school. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, The Scarlet Letter, Madame Bovary, which just looking back on it is like this teacher, the teacher who taught that. I mean, bless her heart, she was a very nice person, but I mean, you have to consider your audience. I mean, what do high school kids know about adultery? I mean,
that's what I always say about. Like The Grapes of Wrath. Like every high school kid has to read it. It's probably wasted on 99% of high school kids.
Yeah, I didn't have to read that in high school.
There's no way you read it in high school and then read it again after been out in the real world, knocking around, getting your ass handed to you for a couple of years. There's no way you read that and it's not totally different the second time. Just like, and we said this before, you read Catcher in the Rye in high school, you think he's a hero. You read it as an adult, you're like, oh, this is a little shit.
Yeah.
So I get a little sad thinking about great books that are taught in high school that you don't go back and reread later on, where they can have a real effect on you.
Yeah, the Great Gatsby was like that for me. We had to read that in high school.
Yeah.
Read it later, and I appreciated it much more. I didn't have to read The Grapes of Wrath in high school, but read it later. I thought it was great. The movie's great. That's another one where the movie's probably right up there. Slaughterhouse-Five, which is taught in a lot of schools. I like that book. I think Kurt Vonnegut is on the record saying that he thought the movie was better than the book. Because it's more easily to go back and forth in time, and it's not as jarring.
I don't like any of that dystopian stuff that he does, like Don.
Well, that wasn't dystopian. That was, his real experiences in World War II, and sort of dealing with that.
I disagree.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did love that he showed up in Back to School, so he'll always get credit for that. But right?
That's the high point for Kurt Vonnegut with you.
Yes.
Never read any of that. You weren't exposed to that when you were young. He's very popular for young people.
I read Slaughterhouse-Five. Didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe to my point, maybe I need to go back and reread it now.
Yeah, I think you would like it. Cat's Cradle. Cat's Cradle is a great one. The Sirens of Titan is more science fiction-y.
I'm not reading all of them.
No, but I'm giving you 3. Those three are the tops. He fell off though. I mean, I was sort of a fan as he was, still writing, and the book where it fell off for me, I can't think of which one came first, Slapstick or Jailbird. It was around that period, I think early 80s. But yeah, they just got too sort of gimmicky, jokey, and it just sort of lost something. But those 3 books I mentioned are definitely worth checking out.
Okay.
Okay.
You pinned me down and made me read In Cold Blood, and I'm loving that. So it's hard for me to say F you to your next suggestion.
Well,
Much
no,
as I want to. All right.
I mean, the only one. Well, you sort of came around. I've recommended 3 books, I think, at this point that you've pretty much loved. I think you said you didn't like Sister Carrie that much, but then you came around to it in the end. An
Yeah.
American Tragedy.
I love American Tragedy.
Yeah.
Sister Carrie took me the last 100 pages. Yeah. But that, yeah. All right.
I'm not going to steer you wrong, Greg.
No. Well, I don't know now with this new information about To Kill a Mockingbird. Wow. I would have listed 100 people who hadn't read To Kill a Mockingbird in my mind before I got to you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read it now after Frankenstein. We'll continue our book chat as I go through that.
All right.
And meanwhile, what is this week's dish?
I don't know. I think we put people to sleep with all the book talk.
Well, I don't think there's too many other podcasts that go in depth with books because nobody reads anymore. We're in the subliterate era.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not going to start reading after this.
No, they're not, because
but people
have Netflix. You know, when you can watch a 10-hour series on Jeffrey Dahmer, why would you want to read a book?
Are we making a point here? Are we doing a social?
Yeah. I got to get the zingers. I got to get the
editorial
zingers in
here, Michael.
I got to get the zingers in. You know.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, we ate for our dish this week chicken nuggets and fried rice
from the children's menu.
I was delighted. This was fantastic. There's
no goop.
I've said it before. There's something about the Chinese. They can make the hell out of a chicken nugget. I've never been let down. They say McNugget. I don't even say a word to that. Thank you. I enjoy it.
You went with the pork fried rice, I'm assuming.
What does that mean?
Because I know you didn't go for the house special fried rice.
Yeah, I did the pork fried rice.
Okay. Was there a combo? Because at my place had a combo with the nuggets and the pork fried rice. Did you have a special deal?
No.
No.
I didn't think to ask. All right. We should give ourselves a price limit, like $11, and like we have to figure out how to get it.
Oh, that's too complicated.
That's true. Well, okay. Talk me down from that. You know what I always do with whenever I have chicken nuggets and fried rice is I take a fork and do you ever watch that movie Benny and June?
No, I don't think so. Johnny Depp.
All right, now
that a Johnny Depp movie.
Now the Benny and June won't make any sense. I take a fork, I impale the chicken nugget, so it's like a leg and a foot. And then I use that leg to dig in and scoop up the fried rice. And I take a big old bite of it all together, and it is delightful.
So you're let me get the image correct. You're sticking 2 forks.
Oh yeah. No, one
with
fork.
2 nuggets on them.
Where'd you get 2?
I thought you said you make them walk like legs.
Well, yeah, one leg. Okay, picture hop along me. Okay. With one leg, I'm coming back.
A one-legged.
One-legged me.
Okay.
Okay, does that make it better?
Yeah, I the image is easier to swallow now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
One leg in me. You take the fork, boom, into the nugget, use it as a like ladle almost.
And I would say a backhoe, like a backhoe.
Like a backhoe, yeah. It's had to be like a front hoe.
But doesn't the rice go flying? I mean, come on. Sure. What you know, well, I understand you're going for a charming image here.
Well, it falls right back on the plate. What do you think I'm doing? I'm scooping it and then sprinting it across the room and hoping I'm not getting it on the white carpet. No, it falls right back into the pile of rice.
Here's an idea.
Eating Chinese food on a white carpet and see who can do no damage.
Take a bite of the chicken McNugget and then scoop in some rice. This way you get the same effect with less wastage.
You mean scoop it out? Like I've done that where you take a bite, you pull out the meat. So you have the empty casing of the
What
breading.
the hell are you doing with your McNuggets, man? You
Well, you
scoop.
got me throwing rice all around the room.
I've never heard somebody have a more complicated way of eating a nugget, a chicken nugget.
Well, if you can pull it off, no pun intended, pull out the meat all in one piece. So it's like a pocket of breading. Then you slip some rice in there, just like my egg food, just like my egg roll thing.
What? I mean,
now you can't do this with every nugget. If the meat doesn't separate perfectly, you're not gonna be able to stuff any rice down there. So then you get the chicken, num num num, and then the fried rice in a nice fried wrapping with chicken flavor, num num num. Now again, you can't do that with every.
no. I mean, I can't do it because I mean, how long that
You can do it.
how long an operation does this take for you to eat the meal?
Well, you know me, which means the meal probably takes 180 seconds. No, you just try you bite off the top, give it a little twirl. If you do 10 nuggets, or as the Chinese call them, McNuggets, if you can get 2 of these, I'm happy. Yeah, you just separate
all
the
right.
meat out because some of the meat's a little loosey goosey with the breading. I don't know what happens, and some of it's easier than others. But if you can do that, that's like the golden pearl of fried rice. Fried rice wrapped up inside of a McNugget breading. You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't have time to play with my food like that.
You don't have time.
I mean, I just want to eat the food. I just want to eat the food. I don't have time to reinvent the wheel.
Do you stick your face in and just shovel it? Because you got shit to do. You got places to go.
I mean, the nuggets,
Liz doesn't have time for this.
I was eating with my fingers. Yeah, I eat the nuggets with my fingers. Here's a little downside.
Through 3 Kurt Vonnegut books, but you don't have time for your nuggets.
Yeah, no, I don't have time.
An entire. Well, I will say this: I do know you are the slowest eater in the world. And I'm counting someone.
I was waiting for this story to come.
I am counting.
I'm waiting.
Somebody with one leg who would have to get across the floor and back with the food. You are a slow eater, so maybe knowing that, I guess going in, look, I'm Mike Lisk. I'm the world's slowest eater ever in the world. I don't want to get derailed by dicking around, so you just get right into the food. I'm the opposite. Yeah. I eat too fast probably. So I know if I want to do some experimenting, plenty of time.
Yeah, no, these experiments are interesting to me. I didn't think, chicken nuggets. I thought this would be like our easiest dish ever, and yet you found a way to make it more complicated.
I don't think I made it more complicated. I think it made it even more delightful, which is not easy to do. That's a high bar. You're already looking at a plate of McNuggets and fried rice, and then you can make it even better. Pretty good.
Yeah, no, I give you credit. You're on the frontier.
Thank you.
Of food experimentation.
Well, the irony is not food experimentation in terms of I'm good at trying new foods. I'm just seemingly good at taking old foods I already like on the children's menu and finding new ways to deliver them to my gullet, my happy waiting gullet. So
okay. Now, you mentioned 10 nuggets. Is that the standard count?
Usually it's 8 to 12. I found.
Yeah,
4, 8, 12.
In Bayonne, I was getting 8, and they were larger.
Fuck that.
No, but they were larger. The nuggets I got today were smaller, and I got 10.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so in Bayonne, I get the large nuggets in a greasy bag.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, I got 10 smaller nuggets, not as greasy, in the little carton.
Oh, let me guess which ones are better. Well, this is tricky because usually bigger with chicken doesn't necessarily mean better, but you say greasy, and you sound a little cranky about these ones today.
Yeah,
I feel like the bigger ones were probably more pleasing to you.
Oh yeah, they were much better.
Yeah,
these were just your standard
think of all the
nuggets.
rice you could have fit in there after scooping all the meat.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be a good video for my next video. I did my experimentation with peanut butter and nachos. Maybe the next one will be me trying to gut a McNugget.
Yeah. Like I
Just-
said, it's
just-
not for every nugget.
Now, just with a fork, you're doing this. No other implements are needed.
No.
I don't
When
need
you-
a file.
When you pick
Uh,
up, when you pick up the nugget,
Yeah.
hold it so finger and thumb on either side of it.
Yeah.
Give it a little wiggle. You'll feel that there's a looseness. You'll
A pinch?
feel
So you pinch the looseness?
not pinch, just hold the McNugget in your finger and then just kind of give it a little rub. And you'll feel that there's a looseness,
Uh-huh.
whether or not it's worth going in there or not to try to
Okay.
get pull it out and have your.
Oh, so some of them are, you can't do it at,
some of them you can't.
wow.
Some it just doesn't work out. There has to be some sort of looseness with the breading that opens the door for that, and you can tell that usually when you pick it up. Give it a little.
So the way you describe this, I'm thinking there must have been years of trial and error before you
No.
perfected this technique.
Nah, I was a prodigy, bro. I came out, boom, like a young child prodigy, knowing what to do with this shit.
Uh-huh.
Give me McNuggets, boom,
Uh-huh.
here you go, even better. I don't remember not doing that. So, I mean, what do you just turn the plate up and let it roll into your face, and that's it? That's eating?
No, I eat a fork. I use a fork. I don't.
Oh,
I'm not,
judge me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right.
I'm not putting my face into the food.
Well,
but-
try that. Do a little video. Make it less disgusting than that peanut butter. What was that peanut butter you got for the nacho? Was it watered down?
It was
looked
Jif.
disgusting.
It was Jif, and the lighting was reflecting in the peanut butter. What do you have? Dry peanut butter?
Yeah, like normal human peanut. I don't know if
It's
it might have
not
been the
dry.
lighting too. Yours looked
It was
like
the lighting.
it was
There's an overhead light on the kitchen table,
Mhm.
and so that's what was appearing to be wet to you.
It looked like
Um,
snack.
I'll say this about my house special fried rice. It was very good. That's sort of a go-to for me. If I just want something is simple, don't have to deal with the goop.
No
House
goop.
special fried rice and maybe a wonton soup, I'm good to go. Yeah, that's dinner. I didn't get soup this time, but it was still good. The thing about house special fried rice, and you maybe I'm a little suspicious when all the shrimp seem to be on the top. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. Is this like the peanuts where the mixed peanuts where all the cashews are on top, and then like once you get past the cashews, you never see a cashew again?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Calling China out on their bullshit. Mike
No,
List.
but I'll say
Go.
this. Although most of the shrimp were on the top, I did discover shrimp beyond the, let's say, half-inch mark.
Mhm.
So not as abundant as on the top.
Wait a minute.
Which-
You only had to go down half an inch for more shrimp?
Yeah.
This is hardly crawling through the desert for.
Well, no,
Not
make it an
water.
inch. Make it an inch. I
Oh,
had a
shit,
quart
okay,
of rice. I had the big rice.
I thought you were going to say there was no shrimp. You're saying you had to take this fork we keep hearing so much about and let it ease into the rice another inch to get to the shrimp.
I did, I confess that I started to panic because I thought I gave away all the shrimp to my father,
Selfless.
and poor Mike
He,
wasn't going
he
to get
gave,
one.
he gave he gave you life.
Poor
you-
Mike was not
Some
going to.
shrimps.
Poor Mike was not going to get any shrimp in his house special fried rice.
I would have loved to hear that, Mike. Ooh.
But
Angry, gave away his last shrimp. Might have to dig in another inch, Mike List. Ooh.
well, yeah, I did have to do a little searching. Yes, I was like grumbling. I'm like, I'm like, did they pull the cashew thing? So I thought I was I thought I was it was a scam, but then I found a couple shrimp below. Not as much though, not as much. I think I think
not as much.
I think they like to put those shrimp right on top to say, here you are. You wanted to have special fried rice. There's your shrimp. This is what it's all about. And there they are.
They thought they had just another sucker buying it and eating it. Thank you.
Yeah.
They didn't think they'd run into Mike Lisk. And here we are,
No,
putting the word out.
putting the word.
My pork fried rice was delightful.
Yeah.
I didn't notice there was any inches without pork.
Lots
but
of peas, lots of carrots.
Enough about date night. Not as many carrots. I've gotten where I just pick carrots out of fried rice. I've stopped bitching about
Wow.
it. I just pluck them out.
So there's a bunch of tiny pieces of carrots left on the plate when you're done.
Yes.
Okay.
I've
You
given
don't
up.
you don't eat right out of the carton?
Well, no.
No.
I
Okay.
well, not today. I just used a paper plate.
Okay.
So, but I felt like it was a cheat because it's not real quote unquote Chinese food like we've been doing.
Uh-huh.
But it was the tastiest, the happiest I've been in a couple of weeks. If that counts for anything.
It's more in
Okay.
your ballpark of
Yeah. And I understand, again, this wasn't as adventuresome as some of the other ones, but
uh-huh.
why not? We can't treat ourselves every once in a while. This is their 20th episode.
Yeah, the last two dishes in particular are very heavy,
Yes.
and I wanted a breather.
Yeah.
Even though I know this isn't a particularly healthy choice.
That ship has sailed on this man.
No, but most Chinese takeout menus do have that sort of healthy section, right? We haven't delved into that area yet. It mostly, I guess, consists of a lot of steamed broccoli and steamed vegetables, and
sounds like a summer thing. We'll say
maybe
that for the summer.
Yeah, maybe by next summer we'll be ready to get into the healthier choices on the menu.
Yeah, now we got to store up for winter. So
yeah,
not our fault.
This was a healthier choice.
You want to give a score, or does this even count because it was chicken nuggets?
Yeah, no, this is I would say I'd give it a 7. This is kind of a quickie, old reliable for me. So I appreciate it. There's not a lot of variety. Like I said, all it comes down to is whether or not you feel like you weren't cheated with the shrimp, the pork,
sounds like there's still a little bitterness there.
Well, I got half of it left, and I'll see what's left. But I think I had most of the shrimp.
Yeah, I'd say a 7, but I'm going to bump it up another 0.5 because I don't know what it is about these people. They can do a chicken McNugget. I've never been let down at a Chinese place to chicken nuggets.
Yeah, well, they have fryers, and I guess if you have decent nuggets, I mean, it's not rocket science, as they say.
Oh, now we want to shit on these nice people.
I'm saying, what do you think? They're breading the chicken McNuggets back there? I mean,
I don't know.
They're plucking the chicken.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. But whatever they're doing, I like.
They're getting a bag of frozen nuggets pre-made.
Do I care how they make it?
Throw them in the fryer.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They're good. If you can't, if you're
how do you think Peter Luger's gets their steaks? Just whispering to a cow.
Oh, back on Peter Luger's again. Oh God.
Love songs until the steak drops out. I don't want to know what happens. But I don't know how they do that. And before anybody says it, yes, I'm aware it's probably not real chicken. Thank you, Professor Holmes. I don't think it's real chicken. It's not real chicken. No. Thank you. Have fun at Harvard. You're brilliant.
Yeah, I think a lot of people may not even know. Again, people are saying how informational this show has been.
Really?
Yeah. Did you see that one review where they said they're learning a lot?
No.
That's our best. That's our best review yet.
What poor bastard said that?
They're learning a lot. So here's the thing. I mean,
Maybe it is good we're talking about books.
yeah.
I mean,
But people may not know that their Chinese place has McNuggets. So, if you got that hankering and McDonald's is not convenient, why
Mhm.
not just get your nuggets at the Chinese takeout?
I would surmise that if you can get your nuggets from a Chinese place, there's probably a McDonald's nearby. But I would recommend getting them from your Chinese place.
Yeah. And they have fries,
Sorry,
again,
America, but you're
they
losing this one.
they have
Sorry.
fries there too.
I will say I've always loved a crinkle cut fry when they do pop up at the Chinese shops. Anything other than that,
Well,
anything just a flat fry or whatever they are, non-crinkle,
oh, the Oritas steak fries.
steak fries, whatever. Yeah,
They sort of
but
disappeared, the steak fry. They
it
were
just become like you might as well hollow out a baked potato. Like, I don't want to be that healthy. I'm getting chicken McNuggets at a Chinese. I don't want to be that healthy.
the Orita steak fry used to be ubiquitous.
Mhm.
You used to, whenever you got French fries at a diner or a bar restaurant,
Oh, yeah.
and it came with fries. There they were. It was the ubiquitous
Well,
Orita steak fries.
nothing was as ubiquitous back in the day as the baked potato. I'm sure you're of the age where anytime you went to a restaurant where you sat down, you were getting a baked potato. Like whatever you got, baked potato.
Yeah, that was the thing.
You
Yeah.
were feeling fancy, you got to go to the
Yeah.
fixin' bar. It was always a baked potato. I'd like the burger, great. And I'd also like a baked potato. Well, that's gonna come along with baked potato we're already giving you. But then somehow, all of a sudden, I wrote about this like 15 years ago. By that I mean I posted it on my shitty blog.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, you don't see baked potatoes anymore. Like they're not as
Here's a
ubiquitous.
mind blower for you. I was never a
Right?
big fan. I was never a big fan of the baked potato.
Well, but you do remember a time when they were just everywhere. Like they were just
Yeah,
again, you
no, I
sat down at a
remember.
restaurant, you were
Yeah.
going to get a baked potato.
Yeah.
They didn't care if you threw it on the ground or ate it, but you were getting one.
I mean, I grew up with baked potatoes, boiled potatoes, and mashed potatoes.
Amen, brother.
Mashed potatoes, number one.
Yep.
Baked potato, number two. The thing about the baked potato is you got the skins. Some people don't like the skins.
Well, if you
But-
do
but
that, that's not a baked potato if you take the skin off.
Right. So, but some people take the potato
You're
out of the.
stumbling, Mike. Did I throw
Yeah,
you
no,
off?
no, no. I'm going to make
Respond.
a profound statement here.
All
Some
right.
people would take the potato out of the skins and throw them away.
Fuck that.
Yeah, yeah. You know
Are
what you
these the
do with
same
them?
people that
What,
told
what do
you
you do with
never eat to kill
what
a
do you do with
mockingbird?
your skins? What do you do with your skins?
Well, I thought you were going to say because what people do, and I've done it, and it's really great. It's a lot of work. Is you bake potato and you scoop out the inside. You make mashed potatoes with them, and then you reinsert them. Twice baked potatoes. Really
Holy
great, but a lot of
man.
work.
This is I mean, I didn't know you had this tendency to make the simplest things more complicated.
Well, I did not.
That's another mind blower.
No,
That's
no,
maybe more mind blowing than the nugget thing.
no. I did not invent the twice baked potato. Have you never heard of this?
No.
That's a real thing.
All right.
A twice baked potato. But I wish I could take credit for that.
Yeah.
You could say I was maybe subconsciously influenced by it with all these other things I do.
Okay.
But no, a twice baked potato is a real thing.
Okay.
But to me, it's a lot of work. I'd rather just have mashed potatoes or baked potatoes. Fine. I don't need all the work.
But you don't do anything with the skins?
I eat the skins. Like if
All
I
right.
bake a potato, if I make a baked potato,
Maybe I'm going to introduce you to something. Put a couple pieces of butter in those skins.
what do you think I do anytime a potato comes in the room? Immediately,
Okay, well, I didn't. I was looking for that simple answer.
you think a potato makes it past me without like half a stick of butter? Come on, Mike. I mean, first of all, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I mean, the problem with the baked potato is it is kind of a conduit for unhealthy stuff, like the pounds of butter I'm gonna put on it.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't care. I don't do the bacon bits like I did when I was a kid, or any of that. But I will put a pound of butter on a baked potato.
How about garlic potatoes? What do you stand?
Like that. I don't like garlic. I
Oh.
love garlic.
Oh man, it's great.
Well, I don't. Did you say mash? I don't love it when I don't
Yeah,
like.
with mashed potatoes.
Fuck that. I don't like when people try to be a hero with the mashed potatoes. They've been trying it. We
Uh-huh.
nailed mashed potatoes 1,000 years ago. It's milk,
Uh-huh.
salt, and pepper, butter. Whatever variation of that. I don't need sour cream. A couple of years ago, somebody made. They put rosemary in it. I looked down. There's green stuff in my mashed potatoes. No,
Mhm.
thank you. I know people like the garlic mashed potatoes. I can stomach a little bit, but I don't love garlic. So when you have a ton of it and it messes up what should be perfect mashed potatoes, I get upset and I'm not going to eat it.
I've been making a lot more meals for my father. So I'm looking for things all the time that he'll like. It's not as easy as you might imagine. So I try to keep it simple. Have you ever tried Bob Evans?
Yes.
They're phenomenal, right?
Yeah, they're like Denny's or IHOP or yeah.
They're mashed potatoes. You stick them in the microwave for what, 3,
Wait,
4 minutes?
wait, are you talking about buying it at the store?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I've never done that.
Well, where'd you hear about? Oh, there's a Bob Evans. I didn't. This is something I didn't even know. There's a chain of like Denny's called Bob Evans.
No, I go to his house. Yes.
I
Bob
never heard.
Evans.
All right, okay.
It's a
I
restaurant.
thought this was like a potato thing. I discovered just. I didn't know it was a restaurant chain.
Oh, you have been locked in for too long. Like,
Where are they located? Is that a Southern thing?
maybe. I mean, I know there's one in Loudoun County. I've seen them. Maybe it's a Southern thing. I mean,
Yeah, no, we don't
not
have any
missing
Bob
much.
Evans up here.
they're the exact same as IHOP or
Oh,
Denny,
okay.
they're the exact same. Like, well, Bob Evans might be a slightly better version. Like, right, but between, I'll say this, Bob Evans, and from this, I will accept money in exchange for this endorsement. And I would put Bob Evans between a IHOP, better than IHOP, but not in Cracker Barrel's league. So it's somewhere in between there.
The only one, well, yeah, we've got IHOPs up here. We don't have Cracker Barrels. We have Denny's.
That's a shame. That's a shame. I feel like Denny's, if you say I went to Denny's, you have to insert a joke like, I went to Denny's because I fucking hate myself. Blah blah blah. If you say Bob Evans, you can say that and just leave it. Like, I went to eat at Bob Evans.
Well, I recommend to everyone Bob Evans mashed potatoes.
Mhm.
You find them in the refrigerated section. You get a nice tray, you get a nice size for 2 people. You don't want to eat the whole thing yourself. That's a little much. But for 2 people, you stick that sucker in the microwave for 4 minutes, whatever. It's phenomenal. No mashing involved. It just comes out, tastes good. I like they have one with garlic potatoes. Phenomenal. That is my hit pick of the week.
Ooh, I don't know if this is the Irish in me coming up.
You can't accept microwave potatoes. All right.
I can't accept prepackaged mashed potatoes. And I've had them at Bob Evans. I'm sure they're fine. When I was a kid, one time my mother tried to slip in instant mashed potatoes for instead of the real ones. Try to slide one by the Wilson gentleman, and it didn't go over well. So I've always equated instant mashed potatoes or any kind of mashed potatoes like that with paste. Like anytime I'm at a restaurant that I've never been to, and I get mashed potatoes for whatever reason, the first try is very dainty. I always have to give it a little like a dog licking a treat to see if they're okay. Because all I want is them to be normal. I don't want to be swimming in garlic. I don't want to be doing this nonsense or that nonsense. Look what we did with the mashed potatoes. Good, you're a goddamn hero. You ruined them. So the mashed potatoes out and about are a little tricky.
I hear you about instant potatoes. When that first appeared, it was terrible. I never looked back on that. I tried them once and I was like, what? That's not potatoes.
Yes.
But I'm saying we've come a long way since the introduction of the instant potatoes.
Mhm.
And these mashed potatoes, I tell you, if I put them side by side, gave you a blind taste test, I doubt you would be able to tell which was which.
You're probably right. You're right in that that's probably come a long ways. But I feel like mashed potatoes are where I'm gonna put down my flag in the end. That's the only dish I'm gonna have a little pride in, and saying, Greg, do you want to microwave this frozen, we'll call them real mashed potatoes, or do you want to take the time to make some? I think that's the one food where laziness would not win out. And I think I would go to the trouble of making the mashed potatoes. And I don't
Okay.
think I could say that about any other food or anything in my life where if I was presented with something instant that could just take care of it. This is the only case, I think, where I would say, no,
Well,
no, let's take a
I'm
few
putting
minutes.
it out there for Greg. You're turning up your nose without even trying it, which
Yes,
is your
that's
prerogative.
nice of you to put it that way, Mike. Thank you.
But I mean,
But I do agree, you are probably 100% right, and that stuff like that has come a long way in the last 100 years. I'm
yeah,
sure they do
it's
a much
it's
better job of instant mashed potatoes than whatever my mother served on that fateful Tuesday night.
it's not like the mashed potatoes you'd get in a Stouffer's dinner, you know.
There goes that sponsorship. Great. Okay. Through
Listen,
the S's now.
listen, I went down to Stouffer's Road, you know. If you live alone,
Yeah.
you sooner or later you make your way to the Stouffer's aisle, and you're getting that thing that you just want to zap in the microwave, the French bread pizzas,
Do women know
the
this? Is that where I
the
go to
macaroni and
meet women?
cheese, the what is the macaroni with the red sauce? What is that called?
Pasta.
It's it's the same macaroni, but with
Pepperoni.
little beefaroni, whatever it is, macaroni with beef, whatever.
Should that be where I am hanging out to meet women? The Stouffer's part, you know? I mean, we saw a great one of my favorite episodes of Happy Days. Fonzie takes them to the supermarket to look for girls.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this stage of the game, yeah, I hang out at the Stouffer's aisle. Maybe if women know that's the last stop for, you know,
Loneliness.
okay. I was gonna say, okay. I was gonna say,
That's
worthy men looking for love, but you say loneliness. That's probably more true.
yeah, I would say
I will put it out there now, ladies.
uh-huh.
Let it be known, if you want a good man, we're gonna be at the goddamn Stouffer's aisle in the frozen pizza section. And I got another news. What I have noticed about pizza sections is every fancy pizza place out there now has frozen pizza you can buy, the quote unquote good shit. Not me and Mike. We will be at the Stouffer's aisle waiting for you waiting for you ladies
Yeah.
out there who are ready to settle,
Uh-huh.
looking for some good enough gentlemen to spend some time with. That's what I think that's what we're saying. We'll cut this and put it in our special Valentine's Day episode
I
later.
mean,
Don't worry.
frozen pizza is a whole other story.
Not just frozen pizza, frozen Stouffer's pizza. I think that's, if I'm standing in front of the Stouffer's pizza, that's a signal to a woman. Okay, this dude's given up. If I speak to him,
Uh-huh.
he'll be, you know, paying my utility bills from now until the end of time. I
Uh-huh.
like that setup. You have inspired me, Michaelis.
Do you I mean, I can't remember the last time I had a frozen pizza. Do you ever do that anymore, or
I cannot say the last time I got frozen pizza.
yeah. That is a last ditch effort. Although our friend Jerry has put out a video I recently saw where he
Friend
claims,
Jerry? Is this Jerry Seinfeld?
Jerry, our previous guest,
Oh, okay.
Apandrea.
Right. Not Jerry
Yeah.
Seinfeld. One of
Yeah,
your
no.
connections.
Jerry was a previous guest. He does lots of food videos.
Yeah.
He did one on
Well, he
frozen.
does. He does. How many? Maybe he can tell us. Does he do more than one a day? I swear. Every time.
Yeah, no, he is a productive
Wow. He is.
guy. Yeah, I can't keep up with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he is phenomenal. He's a workhorse as far as videos go.
Yeah.
But I saw one where he claims there's a DiGiorno. Is that how you pronounce it? DiGiorno?
Now we're pretending we're not even aware of these frozen foods. Come
I
on,
don't want
guys.
to. I don't want to mispronounce it because there was a bar in
You
Bayonne
just
called.
admitted that we're looking for women in the Stouffer's aisle now, and you're like, oh,
There was a bar in Bayonne called
the
DiGiorgio's.
you know? What did he say it was as good as
He
anything?
said there's a good one. He said, and I'm tempted. I haven't tried it, but he's got a video where he actually says it's the best frozen pizza he's ever had.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I saw. I didn't watch it. I saw it come up because it was one of the 19 videos he put out that hour. So, but he did one
he
of
just
the,
put out 5 videos in the last 10 minutes.
since we started talking about him. He did the Barstool Sports guy
Yeah,
one bite. I didn't get a chance to see the video.
that's
Listen,
that's the video where
I
you
only
review-
had 23 hours in the day. Listen to me. Is that the one he said was great?
No, he said that was pretty good, but then he claimed this DiGiorno's. I still
Well, now
can't
you got
pronounce
me
it.
fucking- DiGiorno.
DiGiorno's.
Okay.
He says
If you
there
could stomach
is-
saying such a pedestrian
He
word
says-
to folks.
He says that's better than the Barstool, so
All right.
that seems to be the one to go to.
I don't have any doubt that frozen pizza can be great today, but now it's just like you can just get such great pizza delivered easily. For I bet a really great frozen pizza is not cheap. Like it used to be when you say frozen pizza, you assume you get 6 of them for $1 or something. I bet a lot of these frozen pizzas floating around are not that much cheaper than getting Domino's or whatever.
That's true. I mean,
Is that how you say it? Domino's? Domino's? Is that what it is?
The
Oh, I
Giorno?
don't know. It's what I understand the people out there eat. Domino's.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
Now I worked at a couple bars that didn't have kitchens, but we had frozen items. We had hot dogs. We had pretzels, and one of the pizza suppliers. It wasn't, we didn't get, stuff from the supermarket. We got them from suppliers, and they were decent. So yeah, the frozen pizza, the terrible frozen pizza, there are good ones out there. You just have to look.
Yeah, that's good ones.
Yeah.
I got no problem. I need to go back and watch that. I saw it pop up. I was like, oh, I gotta see that. Yeah.
It's a good one.
And this is not Jerry Seinfeld. What have your many connections to you? No?
What? My connections to Jerry Seinfeld?
Okay.
No, I don't have any.
I'm not letting you get out of here without this ridiculous report I'm hearing from you people last night, claiming the Bruce Springsteen of Virginia.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video?
No, I didn't see the video. I haven't seen Jerry's pizza videos. I'm trying to keep up. No, I didn't see the video.
It's a lot. It's a lot to digest.
A lot to digest.
The Bill Chinnick, Jeff Fertzig told a story about Bill Chinnick, which was a name, if you ever read about the old origins of Bruce Springsteen and the Jersey Shore scene and all that stuff. I vaguely remembered that name popping up. I didn't know his history, whatever became of him. So I was skeptical.
Wait, who Bill Chinnick?
Bill Chinnick was a contemporary of Bruce Springsteen's. They were all part of the Jersey Shore scene when Bruce was still an unknown, playing in Asbury Park. He was a contemporary, and he was looked up to as a good musician, singer, songwriter. I guess you would call him, just looking. There's videos on YouTube. I checked it out from I guess 1982. He played at the Big Man's in Red Bank, which was Clarence Clemens bar. So there's the performances from that 1982 show, and you look at him, and he looks like Bruce Springsteen.
Well,
not only does he look like him, he's got a band with, of course, it's got the sax sound, but that was all. They all had that sound in the Asbury Park scene. I mean,
well, let me ask you a quick question, and I think I'm speaking for the audience when I ask this. What the hell are you talking about? I thought we were talking about. I brought up the Springsteen of Virginia from last night.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I got derailed.
And
sorry.
you said, now I assume you're messing with me.
No.
Out of all the music that's come out of Virginia, I hate the phrase the way I'm saying you people.
Yeah, you
But I
keep
feel like
going
it-
on with the you people
I
thing.
feel like it applies here. How did you get Steve Earle for Virginia?
Well, he's from Virginia.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let me write that. That's done.
But you're right. That's where I didn't know that you were supposed to represent your state. And yeah, he doesn't do much representing of Virginia in his career. Like you
He
said,
talks about Texas.
yeah, he talks about
all
Texas.
day and all night and in his sleep.
Yeah, because his hero, Townes Van Zandt, was from Texas. So
He doesn't spend a lot of time bragging about being from Virginia.
Yeah, no,
Yet
you're right. You're right.
Somehow on this list y'all came up with, he is representing Virginia.
No, he didn't make the cut. I forget who made it for Virginia. It wasn't Steve Earle. That was my own choice.
Oh, I thought you said he had won.
No, that was my personal choice.
I was gonna come blazing.
No, you're blaze away. I'm the one who put him up.
I mean, can we not? I mean, number one, are we just gonna pretend the Carter family didn't exist? Because I'm sorry, and I like Steve Earle.
Okay.
Our Corazon Desert Island album.
Yeah.
You might as well have Pat Benatar. She's from Richmond.
Okay.
Let's put
All
her
right.
on the list.
Fill us in. Give us your. So you're saying the Carter family?
Well, I'm saying there's a couple of them, I would say.
But who the angle? You're coming at it from the same direction I was coming at it, just picking like the best musician from the state. But the contest was who represented the state the most. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say Dave Matthews.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's huge.
I got to give him credit. Until this year, I finally had my moment with Dave Grohl. He does talk about being from Northern Virginia a lot.
Okay.
Gwar, whose music I despise, at least they're very associated with Richmond.
Uh-huh.
We can skip Chris Brown. He's had other problems. Let's see. Missy Elliott. I'm not a fan of music, but I know she talks about being from the Tidewater area all the time. I just can't believe. I thought you said Steve Earle had won, so I spent the last 22 hours upset.
No, he didn't make the cut. Actually, I think they went with. I was not a big fan. I didn't really know them. The Silver Jews, David Berman.
David Berman.
Yeah, from the Silver Jews.
Who are the Silver Jews?
Yeah, I did not know that band.
I've heard the name.
Yeah. He unfortunately passed away recently. Well, it was a suicide.
Is that why he made the list?
Actually, I was surprised how many suicides had made the list, because it turned out that Bill Chinnock made it for Maine. To finish my story about him, so he was on the scene with Springs. So he was on the scene.
Done, Mike List.
Yeah, I brought it all around.
All right.
So he was on the scene with Springsteen and all those guys, Southside Johnny, the whole crew. And he was famous. He was locally famous, but he decided to move to Maine. He brought the whole show up there. He had a sort of lengthy musical career up there, but of course, nothing on the level of Bruce Springsteen. But he had a career in music. He put out like 10 records. Like I said, there's some videos you can watch on YouTube, and they're uncanny because he looks like the Bruce Springsteen who failed. The Bruce Springsteen who could have been just a local hero, did not achieve the fame that Springsteen did.
His music.
A talented music. His music is from what I saw, it's not terrible. It's like, you can see he's a talented guy. But all the elements are there, which is the weird part. And you're wondering, did Springsteen pick up some of the stuff from him, or was it vice versa? Who was the first one to sort of have this sort of charismatic stage presence, because this guy is sort of just like Springsteen. He's interacting with the audience. He's, he's a showman, you know. But of course, he didn't achieve the same level of fame. So it's sort of the dark side of Bruce Springsteen, Bill Chinnock. And unfortunately, things did not end well. He committed suicide as well.
Because he didn't make it?
No, I think there's probably other things involved. I mean, he like I said, he did have a career in music in Maine. He was popular up there, but there's so many talented musicians in this country. You can play in different places and make money. I mean, I see a guy at my local place, and he's doing originals, which is, that takes sort of the next level when you're doing originals. There's this, this guy who comes to my local bar every once in a while, and he's got good originals. He's got he does good covers. He's got a singing voice, guitar. I mean, he's a talented guy, but he's making money, but he doesn't have a recording contract, I don't think. But there's so many people like him, because this country is just full of talented musicians, but they all don't, achieve the same level of success.
1,000% true.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got started on this Phil Chinnock guy, but
well,
I feel like I was worked up about this Steve Earle thing.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
out of the tires now.
I screwed up there, but because I was only, he was the Bruce Springsteen of Maine. He turned out to be the Bruce Springsteen of Maine, since that's where he was for most of his career. So, yeah. You have a fortune?
No, but I do have an idea.
Oh no.
I'm going to do, speaking of covers, song covers, I'm going to go, that great bit Tom did of Chubby Checker?
Yes.
I'm going to do a cover of that.
Okay.
That's my 2023 project.
Okay.
A word for word cover version of his, I have to say this, genius episode back in 2004 of Chubby Checker threatening to sue everybody. I'm going to do a cover version of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to intervene in your dream. This is a dream of yours, but I'm just saying, you just admitted it's a genius bit. How can you top it? It's going to be very hard to do.
I'm not saying I'm going to top it. I'm going to give it new life. Of course I can't top it. The idea is the brilliance. And then he carried it for like hours as a second break.
Yeah.
I think doing a cover version of that comedy bit.
Is that a thing that people even do? I mean, I'd rather Greg I'd rather Greg be Greg. Give me your what's the lingo? Quick 10, or give me your best stand-up routine if you would pursue that avenue.
I mean, I'm trying to tell you my
give me well, I'm not trying to shoot you down. If you want, but I'm just saying I've never heard of anybody covering a comedy bit.
Oh, well, then I guess it shouldn't happen.
I'm just saying, give me the Greg bit. Give me a quick 10 of Greg being his funniest.
I guess I'll just shit on this side. Put this side. Write it down. Don't do Chubby Checker, but
I want you. I want you to be yourself, man.
I don't want to be myself.
Yeah.
I want to do the cover version of that Chubby Checker bit.
Okay.
Now the tricky part will be transcribing it. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but
it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then
if you didn't want me to do it, you should have led with that. Not Greg. You should be more aspirational.
I'm a straight shooter, Greg.
I know.
I want.
That's why we all love you.
I want more Greg. You don't need to piggyback. You said it yourself. It's a genius bit. I agree.
It's a genius bit. I want to bring more attention to it. I want to tell people about it. Maybe
know.
I just did. Boom.
I mean, Bruce has got this cover album coming out,
Here we go with Bruce.
and and before even listening to it, none of them are going to top the original.
I'm
So
not saying
it's
top it. I'm saying I've always loved this bit, and I'll be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of the Best Show over the years.
uh-huh.
I listened to this bit, and I listened at the time my band was on Smash or Trash, and a little bit else.
Yeah, I had you called in on one of the shows, fill-in shows, I
That's right.
believe.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I've just always loved the Chubby Checker bit.
Okay.
I thought this would be a fun way to celebrate
All right.
it. You tell me to shut up.
I'm not telling you shut up. Follow your dream, man. Follow your dream. I'm just saying, I want the straight Greg.
Is that the only time somebody earnestly saying "follow your dream" has been followed by audible gasp?
Yeah.
I was going to say audible grasp. Is that a thing?
Audible gasp.
Grasp. You can hear somebody grabbing some. Oh, audible grasp. You see them grabbing something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just wood shopping.
Yeah, you are.
I thought it was a great idea. All right.
I think you have better ideas.
True.
Do some. I think I've suggested doing the audio book.
Oh, now you want to write the bits for me?
No, I don't.
Got a couple jokes you want to slide my way?
No. I'm saying, do an audio version of your book, or even parts of your book, to sell the book.
I do have a great idea for the audio version of Williamsburg Rats, which I'll be doing soon. The paperback should be coming out soon.
Okay.
I do have a great idea for the audio book version of that, but I don't want to give it away. So
Okay. All right.
let me just say this. There will be a Christmas for fans out there.
Okay.
That was it. That was the whole message. I don't know. That was it. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I thought Christmas was canceled again, but you're saying Christmas is still on.
I'm saying if people want a little something extra to give their loved ones this year, maybe the audiobook of Rats may be worth waiting for.
Okay. Message
That
received.
was all of that one too. That was all. When I stop, that's it. But yeah, so all the good ideas, Mike. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just trying, bro. That's all. That's
Just
all I got.
spitballing.
That's all I got.
Spitballing.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Great chicken nuggets from the Chinese and ideas.
No fortune cookie.
I never get a fucking fortune.
You've pretty much
gotten one.
abandoned that bit. Did you write one?
No, I
No.
just came up with a stupid idea about the Chubby Checker. That was my week.
I wrote one. My first
I had
fortune.
to upload all those songs on the SoundCloud, so that took time. That wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
All right, what's your fortune?
What doesn't kill you will kill you later.
You say makes us stronger. I swear.
No. You just jumped on me, man.
All right, sorry.
What doesn't kill you will kill you later.
That sounds like something we would write. Did you write that?
Well, I took the quote and I gave it the Mike L. twist.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because that's what the fortune cookies are. I mean, they're all working the cliches.
I like the list twist at the end.
So I'm going to take, a well-known phrase, and I take it you're not a fan of that phrase.
I mean, it's a bit wasted on a fortune cookie. I mean,
I think there's some truth to the original though, but the ultimate truth is that what doesn't kill you will eventually kill you later is the
unless it's a shark. Because if the shark doesn't kill me, guess what? I'm not getting back in the water.
And you probably lost a leg.
That's why I was eating my nuggets with a fork and rice, because of my one leg hopping around.
I tell you, it's a good time to be. This is going to sound horrible,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say it anyway.
Be one-legged.
I'm going to say it's a good time to be attacked by a shark.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you're attacked by a shark today, the amount of media coverage you get, and you survive. I'm talking about survivors here.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about the unfortunate people who don't survive.
God forbid you're in our thoughts, people.
Yes.
Shark people.
But
Shark
if you survive a shark attack, you're an instant celebrity on social media, television. You know, there's a
Sounds like you're bitter about these people who are taking oxygen away from the Mike Lisk internet experience.
No, I give them all the credit in the world for surviving a shark attack, but it's a shark
But you
attack.
don't want to hear about it.
You know, you put yourself in a position where you would bait for a shark.
Mm.
You accomplished nothing. You survived. Yes, okay. Some of you were spit out, or you kicked it in the nose. Apparently, that's what you're supposed to do under those circumstances. Give it a good punch in the nose. But there's not a lot of achievement there, right? I mean, you were attacked by a shark.
I don't want to bring in the obvious Trump McCain comparison here. That everybody, I'm sure, is thinking.
No, I think only you are.
Jeez, like you don't like captured heroes.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You sound like you were, some guy who survived a shark attack stole your girl back in the day or something.
No, I'm saying before
Are
social
we peeling
media.
away a layer or two here in my class?
No, I actually know. Well, I didn't know her that well, but a guy I went to school with, his sister. This is back in the 80s, I think. His sister was attacked by a shark in Florida, and she survived. I mean, she got bitten, a horrible bite, but she survived. But I think maybe that merited maybe a mention in the back pages of the newspaper. You know, there was no TV coverage. There was no social media coverage.
I
No
like these
memes.
Gen Z shark survivors.
No video, viral videos for over 1 million people have seen. No TikTok video. It just it's a strange time in the culture where getting attacked by a vicious fish catapults you to celebrity fame.
Are you saying the shark attack is the new sex tape? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think you
tape.
may have hit it right on the nose.
I think I did.
You get where I'm coming from?
I think if I want to get my name out there, really get famous, I go out to the beach, pull my Tootsie out, get a little nibble,
Uh-huh.
and then come scrambling back and blammo. I'm everywhere.
Listen, if you want to take an unorthodox approach to marketing Egg Foo What, I am not going to hold you back on that one.
Are you trying to tell me something? Because I did not pick up on.
I'm saying you may have
You're
come
sending
up.
me a signal through my ears. I did not.
You may have come up with the most ingenious marketing idea I've ever heard of.
Shark attacks as sex tapes.
No, Shark Attack as podcast promotion.
Whatever it takes, bro.
Yeah. No, you
So
seem like you're on board.
Are you asking me to go get attacked by a shark?
You brought it up.
You brought it up.
Listen to the tape.
No,
I didn't tell you to go put your footsies in the Atlantic. Did I?
No, I normally joke about sharks in that I'm not scared of them because until they can crawl up, walk up on the beach, they're not going to get to me. That's what I normally say. That's why I'm more scared of snakes than sharks. But if I'm in their house, I'm scared of sharks. But
Yeah, yeah. All
you
right.
brought up the sharks. No? Is
No,
that me?
you were the one talking about dipping your tootsies in the Atlantic.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, so if you do that, maybe bring a bucket of chum.
Uh-huh. Meaning
know.
me.
What's the worst that can happen? You lose a toe?
Well, the worst thing can happen is I get eaten by a shark.
Well, if you just dipping your toes in.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm saying get on a dinghy or a boat.
Here's what I'm hearing. Last week's assignment, I was supposed to write a fortune. I did not do that.
Uh-huh.
So this week, my task has been bumped up to go agitate a shark, but don't get eaten.
Yeah.
Don't get fully eaten. Just agitate him enough to get a little nibble. Just some blood in the water, and then boom, Egg Foo What is.
I want a viral video. Man attacked by shark. Also happens to be a co-host of a popular food podcast called Egg Foo What.
Maybe as they're giving
Is
me
that too much to ask? Is that too much
the
to
last
ask?
words they hear as the sand falls off my lips is Egg Foo What? And then I drift away. And then you can go, yeah, my co-host, you got eaten by a shark, but boy, those numbers this week, huh? Hey, this one's for Greg. Remember him?
Remember
Anyway. All right. Shark Attack is a new sex tape. If that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do. I will do the I will take the I was gonna say take the bait on this one, but that's I will go out and get nibbled on. Maybe even affectionately. You don't know.
Yeah,
I
who
don't know
knows?
you don't know
Yeah.
all sharks are mean.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just come up, give me a little nibble. What's up,
Use
buddy?
your charm. Use your charm.
My charm on a man-eating shark who's been bred, who stopped evolving a million years ago once they became nature's perfect eating machines. I'm sure this one will be swayed by my jokes about snakes with no arms and no legs and my moose jokes from the 80s. I think you're not making anything but sense here, Mike. I got to be honest.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to get attacked by a shark by next week so we can get some real momentum going here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
That means I'm not going to have time to write a fortune. If I'm honest here.
You can do it pre shark attack.
Okay.
While you're out there, you know.
Now the projects are piling up. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just doing the shark attack.
Okay. All right. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. So, all right. Oh, I do have other news. I know we've already gone 8 hours here. My little brother tried Egg Foo Young for the first time.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And he's been listening. So maybe next week we will have him call in.
Oh, great. Okay.
To do his summation of his first experience with Egg Foo.
He's not revealed his take yet to you.
Well, I told him not to.
All right. Nice. Okay.
Because I'm a professional, even when we're not here at all times. And that reminds me, I guess I'll put together the tweet to beg people to whoever wants to do the theme song.
Okay.
And then you'll retweet it, and 3 more people will see it. Perfect. So,
that is my
to be clear to people.
I am quite the influencer, as you've noted. I am good for 21 votes.
Yeah, between me with my 29,000 posts that nobody's looked at in however many years, and you with 11,000 bots, I think we do need a shark to step in and give us some a reason to live here. Ironically enough,
yeah.
But I think with the shark attack, if the shark attack doesn't put us over the top, then I am out of ideas. So next week, little guest visit maybe by my little brother and his first try to film. So, but to be clear, we've chose the song, and now we're going to be asking who would like to do the actual recording of it, be part of the team here with the theme song. So
yeah,
there you go. Okay, we're a minute 911. So
are you suggesting we should stop now?
I got nowhere to be. I'm not one of these people who pretends I have better things to do.
Yeah,
so.
you think I'm one of those guys?
No, we're
Okay.
walking this. If I survive a shark attack this week, I will be at Stouffer's frozen food section
Uh-huh.
of Harris Teeter. So I think putting on any airs, that boat has sailed.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say that boat has left the barn, but that wouldn't make any damn sense.
I think that's a good place to end.
I'd say so.
Thank you for listening. This is Egg Foo What?
Thanks for listening, everybody. This again has been Egg Foo What? And we'll see you next week. Hopefully, both of us will survive.